Okay. Are you looking at exporting hydrogen from the Latrobe Valley? Is that right? Is that being
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
I'm going out there today to make an announcement today about a great project which is going to extract hydrogen from brown coal and export it to Japan.
Will it go through Hastings?
I'm not sure on the precise supply chain as to where it's going to be exported from, but it will certainly be going to Japan.
Okay, Medicare levy, the AMA says it should go up to cover the NDIS, will it?
Well, that depends on the Senate, Neil, and we're seeking to persuade them to support it to provide full funding for the NDIS.
Are you concerned we're looking at a possible increase or a new threat from unauthorised boat landings?
We are very absolutely vigilant in terms of border security. You're referring to a particular people smuggling operation, or what is it?
Rohingya, yeah.
Oh, well, look, there are clearly the Rohingya crisis has displaced well over 700,000 people, and there is a potential for some of those to seek to come to Australia by boat, but it is part of our job, and we've been successful at that, at ensuring that people who seek to come to Australia with a people smuggler do not get here. That is our...
But we are facing a new... no, it's not a threat, that's too strong, but a new risk.
A new risk with
the people from Rohingya.
Well, Neil, the answer is yes, but we face the risk from lots of other places as well, from Sri Lanka, from the subcontinent, from Indonesia, Malaysia. You have to assume that you cannot assume that just because we have been successful at stopping the boats now for best part of more than 3 years, you cannot assume that the risk has gone away. The people smugglers are constantly looking for a way to get back into business, and my commitment and the government's commitment is to do everything we can to keep them out of business. And that's why there are no drownings at sea, and we're not seeing the unauthorised arrivals, and we don't have kids in detention here.
Are those people from Rohingya possibly a security risk? The Malaysian PM said they could be recruited by ISIS.
Well, that is ISIS recruits people everywhere. They recruit people in Australia. But the bottom line is we will not allow the people smugglers to get back into business. We do everything we can. We have extensive intelligence. We have extensive resources to ensure that we can frustrate their attempts to get back into business. But Australians should not imagine that just because there hasn't been any unauthorised arrivals, people smuggling operations successful for quite a long time, they should not assume that the threat has gone away. It hasn't. It is as present now as it ever has been, and we must not be complacent, any of us.
I had Andy Penn, the head of Telstra, in the studio yesterday, and he says the NBN model is about to force up prices. The price of the wholesale price through NBN has doubled. And this is going to be, it's been absorbed by the telcos and will now be passed on to customers. Well, can't you look at cutting that wholesale price?
The NBN has just done that. The NBN has just increased that. What they've done is increase the amount of bandwidth that's available at the same price, so that people can now get a 50 megabit per second connection for the cost of a 25
Can the wholesale price be cut?
Well, it effectively already has been.
It's not his view. He says it's going to be passed on and where prices are going up.
Well, Telstra will, of course, they pass on all their costs. But
he says they've been absorbing it.
Okay, all right. Well, okay, sure, all right. Well, good, okay, yes, next.
What about the broader point? I mean, the Ombudsman tells us that we've got 50% of Australians are unhappy with their service, 60% of Australian businesses. Yeah. A lot of this is to do with NBN. You said you'll get it right. It's not right yet, is it?
Well, I was talking to Rod Sims the other day, and what he said to me was precisely what he said publicly. The ACCC, and I know Rod comes in here regularly, they have got probes in a number of houses to assess what sort of performance people are actually getting on the NBN, and it has considerably improved because the NBN has made available at the same cost more bandwidth, and that means more people are getting the speeds that they are paying for.
It's not just an NBN problem, but when half the people in the country, according to the Ombudsman, have had significant problems with their telecommunications, where it's third world-like. It's not good enough, is it?
I think you. I don't think
Is it acceptable?
This is not the third world.
Is it acceptable
Neil,
that half the people in the country have had significant problems with their telecommunications?
Well, Neil, clearly we want everyone to have very good telecommunications, and I am I mean, I encourage you to get the NBN here and go through the detail, but satisfaction levels are improving. And the good thing, the thing that I'm particularly pleased about, is that we're getting an improved performance appraisal from the ACCC, and they're impartial.
What do we have to sell NBN for to break even? 50 billion?
Well, if it costs 50 billion, yes, okay. I guess that would break even.
Well, do you accept that 5G is undermining the business model? It'll take somewhere between 10 and 40%.
Well, 5G isn't available yet.
No, but it will be soon, and it will be. Again, Andy Penn says it is effectively undermining the business model. Between 10 and 40% of NBN business goes to 5G, which means you can't sell it for 50 billion. Is it possible?
Well, I've never said you can.
All right. Is it possible we could...
I actually, just be quite clear about this.
Okay.
I said when I became Communications Minister back in 2013, I said the Labor Party had wasted $20 billion on the NBN, which I don't think you can recover.
So you think we're going to drop at least 20 billion?
No, I'm not saying that. Look, you're asking me what will the NBN be worth if it is sold in 5 or 6 years' time. I think I can't forecast that, but is there a threat from wireless services, including 5G? Yes, there is at the margin, but the amount of bandwidth that people are using, principally for video streaming, is so enormous and growing so fast. I think the ability of wireless networks to take over is probably overstated, but time will tell.
Thank you so much for coming in. You don't want to recite the words to You're the Voice, do you?
Well, there's a good line in there for the Treasurer. Time to perhaps the bit about balancing the books.
Not the bit about looking down the barrel of the gun.
Looking down the barrel of sons
Never
and
mind.
daughters.
Thank you.
No, there's a good line in there for the Treasurer. I've just
we'll
missed
get it later.
Good
Prime
on you.
Minister,
Thanks.
thank
Yeah.
you.